Dude, you ever see red and blue lights flashing across a lake like it's some cop show? That's exactly what went down at Silverwood Lake last Saturday. Whole vibe was supposed to be chill, but nope, turned into a total circus. So my 17-year-old niece, Emma, she's just sitting there on this old wooden dock, bare feet swinging over the water, all zen and stuff. Meanwhile, two cops are heading her way like they're defusing a bomb. And who's stomping along behind them? Freakin' Patricia Hawthorne, arms crossed, nose in the air like she's queen of Pine Ridge Estates or something. That's her, officers. Patricia's screeching. She's trespassing on private HOA property. I demand you remove her immediately. Emma doesn't even bother turning around. She just calmly reaches into her canvas bag and pulls out this folded piece of paper, holds it up like it's Excalibur or something. The sun hits it just right, and I see Patricia's face start doing this whole, oh crap, thing from where I'm standing on the shore. Oh, forgot to introduce myself. I'm David Morrison. I've lived in Pine Ridge Estates 15 years. Our neighborhood's right by Silverwood Lake, a gorgeous stretch of water that's been in my family for 4 generations. My dad built that dock Emma's sitting on, way back in 1968. When he passed last month, he skipped me and my brother and left the whole lakefront property to Emma, 'cause he knew how much she loved the place. Patricia Hawthorne's been the HOA president for, 3 years, and she's turned our friendly neighborhood into her personal dictatorship. Seriously, she drives around in her white SUV, measuring people's grass with a ruler, handing out fines for mailboxes being the wrong shade of black. But her biggest obsession? She's convinced herself that because the HOA maintains this little public beach 500 feet away, somehow the whole lake belongs to them. Total nonsense. Anyway, that weekend started normal enough. Emma drove up from the city to hang at the lake, just trying to find some peace, 'cause she's still dealing with losing my dad, her grandpa. I'm chilling inside my house when suddenly I hear Patricia's voice echoing across the water like a damn foghorn. Young lady, you need to leave immediately. This is private property. By the time I run out to my back deck, Patricia's halfway down the dock, hair bouncing with each angry step. Emma's still sitting there like a statue, just staring out over the water where we spread her grandpa's ashes a few weeks back. I said you need to leave. Patricia's shrieking so loud she spooks a bunch of ducks. Emma finally turns around, cool as ice, and goes, "Good afternoon, Mrs. Hawthorne. I'm Emma Morrison. My grandfather was Henry Morrison. This is my dock." Patricia's face goes beet red. I don't care who your grandfather was. This lake is HOA property, and you don't even live in Pine Ridge Estates. You're trespassing. Emma just shrugs. Actually, I own this dock, the beach, and 3 acres of lakefront. You're welcome to check the county records. That's when Patricia makes her genius move. She whips out her phone and calls 911, loud enough for half the neighborhood to hear. Yes, I need the police at Silverwood Lake. There's a trespasser refusing to leave private property. She's being belligerent and threatening. I'm standing there like, oh boy, this is about to get good, and I start recording on my phone, 'cause I know receipts are everything. Emma hasn't even raised her voice, hasn't threatened anyone. She's just sitting there mourning her grandpa. 20 minutes later, the cops show up, Officers Chin and Ramirez. They know Patricia all too well from her usual drama. They walk up the dock all cautious like. Patricia's trailing behind them like she's about to prosecute a murder trial. "Miss, we've had a complaint about trespassing," Officer Chin says real polite. "Can you tell us what's going on?" Emma stands up slow, brushes off her jeans. "Of course, officer. I'm Emma Morrison. My grandfather was Henry Morrison. He passed away last month, and he left this property to me. I've got the deed right here." She hands over the paper. Officer Chin unfolds it and starts reading, and Officer Ramirez leans in. You can literally see the moment they realize Patricia's full of crap. Their faces go from serious cop mode to straight up annoyed. "Mrs. Hawthorne," Officer Chin says, turning to Patricia, "this young lady owns this property. The deed clearly shows the Morrison family owns the lakefront from marker 17 to marker 23, including this dock and beach." Patricia's jaw is on the floor. That can't be right. The HOA controls all lake access. "No, ma'am, Officer Ramirez says firmly. The HOA only controls the public beach area. This is private property belonging to Miss Morrison. But she doesn't even live here. Patricia sputters. She doesn't have to, Officer Chin says patiently. She owns the land. She has every right to be here. Then they turn back to Emma. Miss Morrison, we apologize for the disturbance. You're free to enjoy your property. Mrs. Hawthorne, filing a false police report is a crime. Consider this your warning. Bro, word spread through the neighborhood faster than a viral TikTok. By Monday, everyone knew Patricia had called the cops on the actual owner of the lakefront. Neighbors were straight up glaring at her when she tried to get her mail. The HOA board calls an emergency meeting that Wednesday. Half the neighborhood shows up. Patricia's sitting there at the head of the table, looking like a deflated balloon. Board member James Sullivan stands up all serious. Patricia, we need to talk about your actions regarding the Morrison property. Your false police report has exposed the HOA to potential legal liability. Patricia's trying to play it cool. I was protecting our community assets. Really? Board member Linda Foster snaps. You harassed a grieving teenager and wasted police resources. Multiple residents have complained about your power trips. We're calling for a vote of no confidence. The vote takes, like, 30 seconds. For board members vote Patricia out. The only vote she gets is her own. She's sitting there with her mouth hanging open like she can't believe her reign is over. But Emma's not done. Next morning, Patricia gets a letter from Emma's lawyer. As the owner of the lakefront, Emma's revoking the informal deal that let HOA members use the beach near her property. They'll only get it back if the HOA writes her a formal apology for the harassment. Then comes the knockout punch. Patricia's real estate firm finds out what happened. Turns out, calling the cops on a property owner doesn't look so great when you sell houses for a living. They quietly show her the door. Her real estate license? Basically radioactive now. At the next HOA meeting, the association's lawyer drops a bomb. Patricia's drama has the HOA facing multiple potential lawsuits. 3 other neighbors have paperwork showing false violations and harassment. The association's insurance might drop us, the lawyer says grimly. We're looking at minimum settlements of $15,000 a pop. Fast forward to the next Saturday. I'm standing on the dock with Emma. She's casting her grandpa's old fishing rod into the water, and everything's peaceful again. We can see Patricia's house from there, a bright for sale sign stuck in the yard. Rumor has it Patricia and her husband Robert are bailing for another state to escape the embarrassment. Grandpa would have handled it the same way, Emma says quietly. With dignity and documents. She's right. My dad always said the best revenge is just being right and letting the truth handle the rest. Patricia's final scorecard? $5,000 in personal legal fees for the false police report. Another $12,000 to settle HOA harassment claims. Kicked off the HOA board she thought she ruled, and her whole real estate career down the drain. The same woman who'd spent 3 years tormenting neighbors over mailbox colors and grass height? Now she's basically bankrupt and persona non grata. As the moving truck pulled up to Patricia's house that afternoon, Emma just smiled and cast her line out again, the rightful owner of the lake where a nosy HOA president learned the hard way not to mess with a girl who knows her rights.